Hi, everyone. So there is so much coming through on so many different fronts energetically. And I know that many of you are most likely feeling that as well. For some reason, sorry, I was adjusting my computer there. But for some reason, I was getting prior to starting this recording that for some of you listening, you may be feeling a lot of physical heaviness, like in your body, in your energetic field. You may be feeling almost like you're kind of weighted down or stagnant in some sense. You might just find yourself wanting to sit and journal or meditate or listen to music or read or decompress for longer periods of time than usual. Again, almost like there's a little bit of this stagnant energy that's recalibrating itself. That's what's coming through really strongly. So I wanted to start the video just by saying that because I feel as though that in itself is going to be a message for someone. And frankly, I'm not sure exactly where to go from there because there are so many different threads of energy that want to come up here. So I'm actually just going to start going through the notes that I was journaling during my meditation this morning, and we'll see what comes up here because one very, very strong sense that I've been getting for our collective, and it actually came through in a line that I wrote down, which was, this wasn't just a meeting, it was a soul activation. So I strongly feel that for some of you listening, you have met or connected with, or maybe reconnected with someone who deeply activated your soul in some kind of way. And I almost get the sense of your system still processing that activation on some level. And that might actually be why you are experiencing even that physical heaviness. But I'm hearing so strongly they felt it too. So that feeling was very mutual. There was a mutual soul activation. And I'm also hearing that this person's spirit guides, their higher self, all of the divine forces guiding their life are actually trying to get their attention about you. I'm hearing that they are having signs thrown in their face, quite literally, about you, about this connection, almost like everything in the universe is trying to push this person to reach out. I'm hearing something about a hat. I don't know if someone wears a certain hat or if that's relevant for someone. But what I'm getting very strongly is that this person has been, yes, processing a lot of the intense energy that was exchanged during your activation. I'm hearing glowing differently. Something about their energy is literally glowing differently. It's lighting up differently as a result of having met you or connected with you, even if the two of you are disconnected at this time. People around them seem to be noticing this difference as well. That seems to be coming through really strongly. And the other strange sense I'm getting is that there's something in this person's life, apparently, or something they're presenting either online or to other people as being a certain way, but energetically to you, it feels very much the opposite. And it's very confusing because you keep thinking, almost like checking reality, thinking like there's no way that this thing is going on or happening, or that they're still with this person, or whatever the case is. I mean, this could be so many different things. But I just get the sense of like a dissonant kind of energy, where meaning that there's a dissonance between what this person is presenting about a certain thing or situation or person in their life and what the energy actually is. I'm hearing the energy itself seems to be like over or dissolving or dissipating, but what they're presenting on the surface seems to be very involved or just like very different. Now, I know there's many different ways that you could apply that specific message, but what I'm getting very specifically for some of you is that, for example, this person may be presenting that they're still in some kind of happy relationship with a certain person in their life, and yet you keep getting this nudge or this sense that they're unhappy with that person, or even that there's been a breakup or a separation. to the point where like maybe when you feel this way, you'll check this person's social media if the two of you are connected, or you'll ask a mutual friend, or like it's almost just like surprising to see that they're still with this person apparently in the physical, because energetically your intuition is telling you that it's very much the opposite. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be another relationship, but again, there's something that this person is presenting, but I'm hearing it's residual. It's almost like they're presenting a residual past echo of an energy as being present and up to date. And your intuition is telling you the opposite. And so this could be leading to a lot of confusion. I'm hearing the best thing you can do is focus on yourself, because in this situation, when there's this type of confusion, it's so easy to hyperfixate. And that's what I see happening as well. It's like difficult to look away. It's almost addictive to try and solve something here, to try and solve the puzzle of what's going on in this person's life, maybe like how they're really feeling. There's something about this where I'm hearing if you get too close to it, you fall in. That's how this feels emotionally. It's almost like difficult to dance around the edges of this connection, of this person, of this situation, without feeling like you're falling all the way into this like hyper focus, wondering about them, missing them, longing for them. That's the tendency of this energy. The thing about the energy between the two of you is it's so strong and it's so magnetic that it can't really be played with or toyed with or kind of danced around without getting fully drawn in, without even realizing that you're getting drawn in, because there's just so much magnetism. I'm hearing don't get too close to the edge. It's almost like you're on this trail with a ledge. Maybe someone hikes and that's coming up here. And it's almost like I see this wooden fence, but there's a message like don't get too close to the edge. And so you stand back from it because you're worried about falling. But in this case, the fear is of falling fully in love. And the sense I get here is there was a time where this person was pulled into your orbit, where they felt like they were falling all the way into this, and they kind of pulled themselves out of that, but they know they can't get too close to that edge again. So if this person seems to be keeping an unexpected kind of distance or holding a kind of intense silence, I'm hearing, why can't we be friends? Maybe there's this feeling of, why can't we just be in each other's lives, keep in touch, keep things like light and on the surface? Maybe what you're actually getting from this person is complete silence or complete lack of communication. Ironically, the thing about that is in this situation, the reason they're being completely silent is it's like they almost feel like you talking to you, being around you is like an addiction, and they can't give into it even a little bit, or they're going to fall all the way into it. Now, from a spiritual perspective, that falling all the way in is actually their soul. Like that magnetism exists for a reason. I feel like there's a potential pathway where the two of you continue to align in more physical ways and inspire each other and uplift each other. I'm getting a lot of like potential power couple energy if this is romantic for you, which I'm getting that it is for many of you listening. But I feel like, again, this is the kind of connection where you can't really just be in the vicinity of each other without getting pulled into it. I feel that for this person, if there is someone else that they've been involved with romantically, I'm actually getting a very loyal energy from them, that when they are with someone or when they're committed to someone, they are very loyal. They have high standards for themselves. I'm not getting a player energy from this person. And that's part of why it's so difficult for them, because well, I'm hearing you made exceptions for each other. Like this person feels like you were an exception to their rule, not in the sense that they necessarily did anything or said anything that they would consider fully out of line, although maybe that was the case in some situations. But mostly I feel like typically they wouldn't have like said or done something towards you, or it's like they let something slip here that they usually never would. Again, especially if this is someone in another connection. And it was really just, I'm hearing their higher self channeling through them in a moment where they lost control over some kind of mask or lost control over some kind of filter. And So it's almost like their higher self is so drawn to you, and that showed up in some kind of moment, and it scared them because they felt like they were making an exception to their own high standards for themselves when it came to you, that they were doing something that they considered to be, or said something that they considered to be kind of like a gray area morally or for themselves. Like you were some type of exception for them. I'm hearing something I would never say or something I would never do. But again, from a spiritual perspective, it's because there is a deep soul bond here. And that pull that they were feeling towards you was their higher self channeling through them in a moment where they just kind of lost control of that typical artificial filter that they place on that inner soul guidance within them. Now, on your side, because I did say there was a mutual exception, there's something about time. I feel like you gave this person a great deal of your time, your energy, your focus. I feel like you poured a lot into them in some way. Even if you never necessarily spent that much time together, regardless of your status with this person or how much you communicated or how much you were together, I feel like in the quantum realm, you poured a lot of your energy into this person. And that was actually very healing to their soul. I'm getting like you healed this person's soul in a sense energetically, or fed them or gave to them energetically in some kind of way. That's part of why they're now carrying this glow about them, because you gave them this activation, whether you were doing that consciously and intentionally or not. I'm hearing that from your conscious perspective, it may have felt like you were just obsessing over this person or thinking about them a lot or fixating on them. And again, this alone may have felt like an exception. Like, why am I giving this person so much time, so much energy? Because I'm hearing that you are someone who has a lot of options, whether that's romantically for you or just generally in your life. I feel like you have a lot of people vying for your attention. I'm hearing something about the 1%. I feel like emotionally, energetically, and spiritually, you're in like this 1% of souls incarnated here on earth. You have a very rare kind of magical frequency to you, and people have always come to you for guidance, for advice. People love to just be in your presence and be around your energy, to the point where I feel like from a young age, you've always felt overwhelmed by crowds because you notice yourself kind of drawing a lot of attention, which is sometimes unwanted. You may have felt overwhelmed by social groups or making friends, not because you wanted to be alone, but because you've always had this deeper subconscious awareness, this knowing that once you get around people or close to people, they tend to get very addicted to you, where like they can't get enough of you, and they're drawn to you so heavily that it's at times difficult for you to fully pull back into your own energy and recharge yourself or pour into your own self and your own creations. And I feel like this plays out in your romantic life too, where you can be very magnetic, but you're also very cautious about who you allow in a deeper way. But I'm hearing this person got in so effortlessly. I'm getting Virgo and Libra energy for someone that could be relevant, or there could just be something about the upcoming months of like maybe September, October that could be relevant for someone listening as well. Someone could have a birthday in those months, or that could be where something powerfully shifts in this connection. So I'll see if anything else comes up about that. I'm also just getting a lot of air sign energy generally. Gemini is coming up here also. And what I'm getting, I'm feeling so much around my third eye right now. And that tells me there's a very I'm hearing there's a psychic pressure between the two of you, like a spiritual pressure. This also may be part of why your body has been feeling really heavy. If you're dealing with this dynamic, it's almost like there's a lot of, I'm hearing repressed psychic energy that you are processing on your end because this person isn't processing on their end. So when you have a very strong and now activated conscious spiritual bond with someone, there is this perpetual energy flow. And I feel like in your case, it's almost like a form of subconscious telepathy. I'm hearing there's a lot of overlap. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's overlap in your thoughts and like your realities. I feel like the two of you are just very much on the same wavelength right now energetically, even if there's a separation. And again, it's creating this third eye like backup or buildup in a way that you may be feeling as a form of pressure. Maybe that's coming through literally in a physical sense, like I'm sensing in this reading, or maybe that's more Ooh, I'm hearing that could be why like you've been sitting for long periods of time or laying down or feeling burnt out, feeling like you just have to like chill out, to meditate, to read, to relax, whatever you need to do. It's because behind the scenes psychically, you're processing, I'm hearing everything that this person is not processing. Like their end of the channel is backed up and you are processing a lot psychically within yourself as they're like sending back that repressed energy to you, if that makes sense. I know that there's kind of a very complex quantum dynamic taking place between the two of you. But what I'm getting is that with the Queen of Swords, you are someone who is highly selective to the point where some people are extremely intimidated by you. They find you very difficult to approach. But I'm getting with this person, it was the opposite. It's almost like you opened a spotlight of your energy just for them. Like you shone this spotlight just on them, this beacon of your energy, and you didn't even really know why. Because I'm getting for you as well, part of your end of this being like an exception for you is, I'm getting to some extent, you couldn't really consciously understand what it was about this person that pulled you in this way. Maybe physically they aren't necessarily your type. Maybe like this isn't the kind of person like emotionally or energetically that you tend to be drawn to, or maybe just in a general sense, you are I'm hearing opposites. Maybe you're very much opposites, but I'm also getting that in a general sense, you just tend to be someone who is very, very driven, focused. And it's like right now, especially at this phase of your spiritual journey, you are more focused than ever before. I get this like highly selective kind of energy from you. Your inner circle, I'm seeing gold. It's almost like being in your inner circle is golden, and few people get access to that kind of value. But this person just got that gold pass like straight into your heart and straight into your energetic field and even into your inner circle. I feel like I'm hearing dropping everything for this person in some sense, which again is very unusual for you. Maybe you dropped everything to like talk to them or spend time with them. And the thing is that this person wouldn't have even realized how much of an exception you were making for them. I'm getting that they also may not have fully realized consciously the full benefit that they were receiving from you putting this kind of energetic focus into them, that glow that's now surrounding them. But I am hearing that they're starting to put the pieces together, especially because they're getting a lot of comments about people around them, from people around them who have been noticing a change in them. So let's see what else I can channel here. We got the star and also the moon. Yeah, there's just like an energy of you. I'm hearing some like you renewed this person. When you connected with this person, you were in a state of high vibration, very inspired, like you were radiant, but they were overburdened. With the 10 of Wands, like they were very overwhelmed by something or very weighted down. And you came in and like put a spotlight on them energetically. Again, whether you did this through like thinking of them, through sending them good energy, through like manifesting better things for them, or just through like daydreaming about them. Because even when you hold someone in your field energetically, you are sending them a kind of energy that's very healing, that's very uplifting to them. Now, this could be a whole side tangent, but if you're resonating with this reading, know that there have been times where you have felt guided to think heavily about a person, maybe someone from your past, maybe a current situation, maybe a stranger, where like all of a sudden they were really on your mind and you felt guided to kind of like think about them, wonder about them, send them good energy, daydream about them. And you may have internally judged this as like weird or random, or is this just obsessive? Is this a fixation? This seems so strange and out of the blue. Sometimes when this has happened for you, you have to understand this was actually your soul in a higher self form traveling through the astral realm, through the quantum realm to this other person and helping to integrate them more with their higher self. It's almost like you on a subconscious fifth dimensional level were I'm hearing visitations, like you were visiting this person's higher self in the quantum realm, and then you were processing that energy work that you were doing in 5D unconsciously as these conscious thoughts about them. I know this seems absolutely like crazy, but if you've experienced this, I hope this clicks something into place for you, because I do feel like this happens sometimes where it's not even that you feel guided to meet or connect or reach out to someone. Sometimes they're just on your mind really heavily. And it's like maybe you create art from that energy, or writing, or you journal about it, or it's just like a daydream. But it's not self-indulgence and it's not random. It's actually something highly spiritual. It's you sensing something that's taking place between you and this person's soul on a higher self level. And that's what I'm getting happened here. Like your soul had some kind of mission with this person's soul on a higher self level. And I'm also hearing there was some time pressure around this. So that's part of why it came through so restlessly and urgently. Maybe there was a limited time that the two of you were in the same space or could communicate or connect. Maybe you weren't even consciously aware of these limitations, but I feel like there were limiters, and that's why you felt it so intensely and so urgently, because it's like you were doing a ton of soul fifth dimensional work with this person's higher self while the two of you were consciously connected in some kind of rare proximity. And again, you may not have been fully aware of what was going on. Most likely during this time, you felt like you were pretty much going crazy, is what I'm getting here. So if this message is for you, I really hope that this helped you to understand this very strange dynamic that seems to be channeling through here. Now, what I want to say, because here we have the Sun card. Yeah, I feel like you awoke and activated something within this person, and they're still living in that glow. I am getting Leo energy. I'm seeing something about the month of July. I'm hearing something that opens in July, solidifies itself in Libra season. Okay, so in July, there may be, and I keep getting that like June, July, maybe end of June, beginning of July to mid-July window. I've been getting that in recent readings as well, but I feel like you're going to receive some kind of communication or see some kind of unexpected movement in this connection in that time frame. And then I've been getting that in the fall, something that shifted over the summer. I mean, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you can flip the seasons if you're in the southern hemisphere. But I feel like in the fall, then something is going to solidify itself that again seems to possibly open up here in July with the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I see this taking a turn in an unexpected way, but ultimately for the better, at least from your perspective. I'm hearing something coming out into the open that's been in the dark or that's been hidden. I'm getting something very confessional about this energy as well, like this person coming forward with some kind of confession. So let's see if we can channel anything else here. I will say with the Nine of Cups, I'm getting right away that this person really saw you as a wish come true, but it's like they pushed away exactly what they wanted the most here. Yeah, with the Three of Swords, I'm getting that they broke their own heart because they felt like you were going to break theirs. They did not feel like they were up to some kind of challenge here, or that they were good enough for you or had enough to offer. Yeah, this has Libra energy in it as well. So I feel like this person is like experiencing what feels like heartbreak around you right now, but they're not communicating with you and they're not connecting with you. And from your perspective, that probably makes no sense because it feels like this is the person who maybe walked away or made some kind of like final blow here. But in actuality, they were doing that knowing that they were breaking their own heart here. We also have the Star, the Seven of Wands, the Chariot reversed. Yeah, what I get is this person, it's like they were trying to stubbornly hold on to the way things were or a past version of themselves. They were holding on to something out of habit or familiarity or a sense of moral obligation. And in doing so, it's almost like they were afraid to take that leap and fully connect with you and let that other thing go because they didn't feel worthy of you. They didn't feel like they could really like hold up their end here. And so they stubbornly kind of like tried to hold on to that familiar thing. But with the Chariot reversed, I see this person like losing the willpower to keep doing that. Not in a negative way, but it's like, ultimately, I feel like they get tired of fighting themselves. And that's where this Seven of Swords reverse comes in, where there's some kind of confessional energy coming through. I'm hearing this person say, like, just F it. Like, I don't care. I'm going to come forward, which is interesting because I never really curse on this channel, just, you know, to keep it family friendly, ad friendly, and everything like that. But maybe that's how this person speaks. Maybe that comes through in their language. Like, that's just what I'm getting. That's what I got them potentially saying here. So I feel like they're really throwing caution to the wind and just like opening up some kind of confession. In a sense, it's sort of a breaking point because they're almost overwhelmed by their own emotions here with the Nine of Swords. I really need to know what this is. What in the world is this confession? Okay, it's the Page of Swords upright that keeps coming out here. Yeah, they're going to want to, we have Gemini and Aquarius and Libra energy. They want to communicate. And some kind of like, I feel like this confession is going to start as a guarded communication, that they're not going to just immediately come outright and say what's really on their heart or be fully open about what's coming through here. But I feel like what they actually do is like come in with this Page of Swords energy where I keep hearing that this person uses the excuse of like having some kind of a new idea, either for like a way that the two of you could like collaborate or something that you connect with platonically as friends, or like, I feel like they come in just like with some new energy, but very like non-romantic on the surface. This is them being guarded about the way that they approach you with their communication. But then behind that, the weight energetically behind that feels like that Seven of Swords reversed energy, where this is actually some kind of a confession that they're just not coming out right and saying initially. So let me pull a card on this and see, what is this confession? Whoa, okay, what wanted to come out here? The Six of Swords reversed. Okay, stuck in the past, running away from problems, feeling trapped. Yeah, I feel like they're going to... The Lovers reverse. Wow. Okay. That something or someone was an escape and not truly connected to their heart, that they've been running from what they really want here and what is really connecting with their heart. But I feel like with the Hierophant reverse, this coming forward is almost like, it's almost them breaking with their own sense of morality or their own expectations or standards for themselves, because their soul is feeling so drawn to you. It's like, I can't keep living like this, is what I'm getting from this person. I can't keep conforming in this way. And even if non-conforming or communicating this to you somehow breaks one of my rules, I get the sense this person has like a rigid set of rules for themselves, morally speaking, or like they have an idea of what it means to like be a good person, or maybe a belief system or a rigid system, like culturally or something. I just feel like they have some kind of rigid system that somehow when you entered your life, you started to cause them to question. And it's almost like the pull that they're feeling towards you causes them to question what they've been considering to be correct or to be right. With the Two of Wands, this really tells me it's like this communication is this person's first steps towards planning something with you. Whether that's planning, I'm hearing it's the tip of the iceberg. So it's like the beginning of them planning to either like be able to see you or communicate more consistently or move things forward. But I'm getting very strongly that whatever this initial communication is, it seems to only be the tip of the iceberg here. It seems to be the beginning of, with the Ace of Swords upright, the beginning of something that they want to, I'm hearing, continue for a long time. With the Ace of Swords as well and the Two of Swords, what I'm really feeling is This person has been secretly conflicted for a long time. And now you've known intuitively about this conflict, but publicly or to other people, they've been very quiet about it. They've been acting unconflicted and like fully engaged with or committed to or involved with their own past or what's familiar or this other person or situation. Whereas energetically, your intuition has been picking up on the conflict, the sense that that situation has really fizzled out energetically, but they're feeling stuck and conflicted in some kind of way when it comes to letting it go and moving forward. But what I see with the Ace of Swords is this person finally having a massive breakthrough. And I'm hearing it's where they let themselves hear the truth that they've been feeling all along beneath the surface. And with the Ace of Cups, that then leads them to act on that intuition that they've been feeling, that's been calling them. Like I said earlier in the reading, their spirit guides, their higher self, the universal forces in their life have been trying so hard to get through to them. And I feel this is that breakthrough moment where all of that does finally get through and they start taking those first steps towards you. Now I'm getting very strongly a bit of a side message from your guides. And the message coming through seems to be it's very important to allow this person to take the first steps to the best of your ability to try and energetically and emotionally detach by shifting that focus back to yourself. And anytime you feel a lot of strong emotion and energy coming up around this person, which is very likely because of the bond between you, to do your best to transmute that into something productive, channeled, creative, whether it's journaling, talking to a friend, like meditating and clearing your energy, creating art out of that energy. I get something about how the energy you're feeling from this connection isn't meant to sit inside you. It's meant to be alchemized or transmuted. And that when you do transmute or create with that energy, rather than letting it sit, it creates very powerful things, but also it creates this kind of detachment naturally that then generates a magnetic field around you that pulls this person in through this breakthrough, through taking these first steps towards you. So I'm going to go ahead and close this part of the reading here, but if this has been connecting, we will be continuing into the extended version of this reading that will be available either on Patreon or on YouTube memberships. So I will be leaving the links to it in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love. Have a beautiful day, and I will connect with you here again in the next reading.